Hi everyone. When we were young, it was easy to believe in fairy tales and miracles. As we got older, our experiences, our perceptions, our emotions, and our thoughts created certain beliefs. Beliefs that can create a story and shape our experiences daily. The more we think of something, the mind will validate that experience as a thought. Our thoughts end up becoming our beliefs. Let me explain. When something happens to you once, it is a random event. When something happens to you a second time, it's a coincidence. When something happens to you 3 times or more, it is a pattern, and we start creating a story around this experience. The story we tell ourselves can hold us back, or it can compel us forward. But let me tell you a story of an old Cherokee chief that shared this with his grandson. Hi everyone. When we were young, it was easy to believe in fairy tales and miracles. As we got older, our experiences, our perceptions, our emotions, and our thoughts created certain beliefs. Beliefs that create a story and shape our experiences daily. The more we think of something, the mind will validate that experience as a thought. Our thoughts end up becoming our beliefs. Let me explain. When something happens to you once, it is a random event. If something happens to you a second time, it is a coincidence. When we experience something 3 times or more, it is a pattern, and that is when we start creating a story around our experiences. It is a story that can hold us back or compels us to move forward. But let me first share a story with you about an old Cherokee chief that told his grandson a story. He said, "My son, there is a terrible endless battle that goes on inside of me. It is a battle between two wolves. One is evil, anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, false pride, and ego. The other one is the good wolf. He is joy, peace, love, hope, empathy, kindness, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going inside of you and inside of everyone else." The grandfather, or the grandson actually, thought for a while, and he asked his grandfather, "Which one will win?" And the old chief simply answered, "The one that you feed." In our new month, new challenge today, I would like to help you to be aware of both those wolves. I will refer to them as the inner villain and the inner hero. To make it easy, the inner villain breaks your confidence down and is a battery drainer. The inner hero brings your confidence up and is a battery charger. But firstly, we must recognize our inner villain and what feeds it. The inner villain is our self-doubt. Do you know what attacks your state of mind and brings your confidence down? Well, firstly, it is all the external influences, the news, the social media, all the people you talk to. Have you ever listened to the news and felt, "Wow, I feel so great of hearing this. The news gives me motivation, it makes me feel inspired, it takes my life to the next level." I doubt that the news creates that feelings in you. However, you also get those battery drainers the people around you. Some of them you can ignore. Well, some of them live with you. You can change the subject, you can do anything. However, don't let those people feed your inner villain like they would feed a monkey in the zoo. The second thing that influences our confidence when we tell people to work on their weaknesses. Failing over and over at something that is not your strong point can definitely drain your batteries and influence your beliefs that you are not good enough. It kills your state of mind. I know about an ADD doctor who worked with children and had a huge success. When asked what he did, he told a story about a boy that could not read. The teacher would raise her voice when he cannot read and tell him to go practice in the corner of the class. He said instead of focusing on what the boy was struggling with, he focused on what the boy was good at. It was maths. He got his parents and all the teachers to focus on giving him compliments and tell him how great he was at maths. Very soon, the boy's confidence grew and he had enough confidence to overcome his reading problem. Thirdly, bad advice influences your confidence. We always ask people what they think, and people love giving advice. However, do they have the experience to give you that advice? Have you ever heard the saying, don't ask broke people how to make money? They can surely tell you how to not make money. Or asking a single friend for relationship advice. I am recently watching the series in South Africa called Love Island with my daughter. Every day, all the single guys gather and give each other advice on how they should become better with their relationships and all of those things. I guess if you think about it, there's a reason why they are still the single guys and battling with relationships. When stories that influence your confidence and stories that drains your battery is around you, make sure that you recognize those stories. Make sure you see the story that impacts you, that lives inside you. I want you to think about what is that story that is keeping you from moving forward into an extraordinary life or having an extraordinary relationship. I would like to use a tool called Uncovering Your Story and Release Your Inner Hero. Let's recraft your story and make it bulletproof by choking the villain. In this tool, there are 4 steps. The first step is to write down the story that you're experiencing and believe that it is true. What is the story in your head that impacts your life and influences your confidence where you doubt yourself? Now, if you are anything like me and some of my clients, we stack those stories. If I could use sticky notes for each story I stack, I would cover an entire wall. Yes. However, I want you to think about that one that has affected you recently. I will tell you what my first story was that I uncovered. I did not think I was good enough for my husband, and I did not think he deserved me. Having a baby just before I met Vickers had a huge impact on my life, and I started stacking the stories. Having a good marriage of over 20 years, I realized my story and why our marriage couldn't be extraordinary. I was not good enough for him. I wasn't good enough for his family. I wasn't good enough for his friends. I wasn't good enough. And so it went on and on. Another story that impacted me is the fact that I never finished my degree. As a digital manager, I would employ people with double my salary, as I believe that I could not earn a lot of money because I lacked a degree. Never mind all the other qualifications I had, it wasn't a degree, and that was not good enough. So, once again, in certain aspects of being a manager, I did not have the confidence and I played small. A lot of my clients also tell me that they are not smart enough. Their hard work is not worth it. They don't deserve it. They don't think that when they reach the success level that they can sustain the success when they are there. They are supposed to struggle and work hard. Does that sound familiar? Pause the video and write down your story that you're experiencing and believe that it is true. Welcome back. The second step, write down what the story cost you up to this point of time in your life. When I looked at my story about my relationship, I realized it cost me unnecessary arguments because I was looking for reasons to justify why I wasn't good enough. It impacted my two girls. Though Vickers and I were married and happy most of the time, I would not say that we inspired them to have an extraordinary relationship. In other parts of my life, I lost friends and I lost so much joyful moments with my family. I had my second story where I did not have my degree. That set me back in my career, as it doesn't matter what people told me, if they were my staff or executives, I wouldn't believe them. It cost me money, it cost me a different lifestyle, and cost me so much opportunities. Once again, pause the video and write down your story and what it has cost you so far. The third step, step number 3, write down what the story could cost you moving forward if you don't change. What will happen if you stay in the same place and when you look back at your life a year from today and nothing has changed? When I did this exercise, I knew my marriage might fall apart, or it will just be average. Now, I don't do good with average. I would fail at my one biggest goal, where I want to set an example to our loved ones, especially my two girls, to have an extraordinary relationship and a marriage that makes you feel happy and joyful and fulfill you. I would also continue to push my husband and other people away. With my degree excuse, I realized with that story, I would not be able to have a successful business. I will fail more and I could say goodbye to living my passion and inspiring other people. When I realized what impact my story had, I could feel the pain in my chest. My throat closed up, my eyes filled with water, and my entire body just didn't want to continue anymore. This is when I realized that I must change my story. So now, pause the video and write down what would happen if your story don't change. What will it cost you moving forward? Welcome back. This brings us to the last step of the tool. Write down what information did you find to prove your story is a lie. I realized that many people told me how my husband cherished and loved me. Many people told us what a great relationship we have and that we are this absolute great couple. I realized that when he complimented me, he means it and does not want something from me. I realized how often he told me that I was his best friend, his biggest supporter, how I changed his life and made him a better person. There was endless proof that I have been good enough, and I will surely be good enough going forward. Thinking of my degree story, I realized again all the accolades, how many people from my staff, the top executives told me that they see greatness in me, that I perform so great. I also discovered that the wealthiest people in the world don't have degrees. Can you believe that? And I realized the last thing that should affect my life is a degree. The evidence gave me a smile on my face. I was able to breathe, and I knew I had all the power to choke my villain whenever it comes to the surface. I have then discovered my inner hero that I suppressed for so long. I was so excited, I started writing down how I wanted my new story to be, who I needed to become, and the characteristics I required to be that person. I came up with confidence and certainty, and it plays a big role in my life. So, to end this challenge this month, go create your new story. The story where you feed your inner hero, where you feed your confidence, and when you are certain about yourself. So, to end this month, new me challenge, go discover your greatness and have a great Easter. Just remember one thing. The story that helped you to get out of Egypt is not the same story that gets you into the promised land. We see that over and over again. Listen to your thoughts, listen to your words, listen to your emotions, and figure out what feeds that inner villain so that you can choke it and you can rescue your inner hero. I am your friend, and I enjoy sharing this journey with you. Have an absolute great April. Bye.